Okay, so here we are on trial balance exercise 1. This is on page 97 in your workbook. And we have to prepare the trial balance of Duckworth Services on 31 July 2020 using the balances below. So there's just a list of balances that you're given over there. It doesn't say if they're debit or credit. So what I've done is just copied and pasted the summary that I had from my introduction. I'm also going to refer back to the template on page 96 in the workbook, this one over here, just because I think it's going to be useful in the beginning when we're doing our first exercise on this. But the first thing we have to do in the trial balance is put in the correct heading. So you need to put in the name of the business, Duckworth Services. Okay, over there you need to know what the name of the business is. You also need to know the end of the month date, 31 July 2020. That's usually pretty easy. So the heading is going to be trial balance of the name of the business. And then the word is on. You always have on, and you have the end of the month date, 31 July 2020. So that's all we need to have there. Don't actually need that other line here. Okay, just delete that. So there's the heading. Normally that's the absolute easiest part to do. Okay, now we need to actually go and do the trial balance, the two sections. So you're going to have the balance sheet section. I think this underlining is probably going to irritate me. I'll keep it for the heading maybe. You're going to have your balance sheet section, and your first account always in the balance sheet section is going to be capital. Capital is always going to be the first one. A business really does need capital in order to be able to function. So if I go over here, capital 48,500. So what I'm going to do is just go and cross out as I record something. So you can tick it off, cross it out, highlight it, do whatever you like. Just indicate that you've dealt with something. Capital is 48,500 now. So I can go and put capital. Where do I put the 48,500? Debit or credit? You could know from all the ledger exercises we've done, or you could just memorize the summary. Capital will always have a credit balance over there. So in the credit column, I'm going to go and put 48,500. And there's that underlining again, which I don't really need. So let's just go and get rid of that. Should have done that earlier. Okay, so and hopefully that will work. Okay, it's still in bold, but okay, I don't know why I'm being so pernickety about the bolding and unbolding, but never mind. Okay, capital 48,500, and the folio would be B1. Okay, and next time I'll sort that all out before. Okay. Now, you can go and do the folio numbers afterwards if you prefer. It's entirely up to you. So that's capital. The next thing we would normally have is drawings. So it's your two owners' equity accounts. If I go back here, drawings, there I've got 6490 for drawings. So I'm going to go and put that in the trial balance, 6490. Which side does drawings go? Which column? Has to be the opposite of capital, so it will be 6490. That will be drawings. Bold and underlining again. Having a bit of a challenge here, but never mind. I'm sure we should be done now. And I can go and put the folio B2. Again, I could have picked up the fact that drawings is going to have a debit balance over there from that table, but it's quite a good idea to think of capital and drawings being opposites of each other, like assets and liabilities are opposite, or incomes and expenses. Okay, so what comes after capital and drawings? If I go back to my template, which is on page 96, you've got a group of fixed assets over there, land and buildings, vehicles, equipment. Now, the order over there, land and buildings is always first, because it's what you would expect to keep for the longest. what we saw in the general ledger was equipment was before vehicles. Now vehicles is before equipment. It's a bit debatable as to which one comes first. I'm going to go for equipment before vehicles just to be consistent with the general ledger. If you put vehicles before equipment, it really isn't too serious at this point. So let's just go back to our question. Yeah, I'm just getting a bit challenged moving around here. So land and buildings is the first of the fixed assets. If I look through here, there is no land and buildings. Okay, I do have equipment and I do have vehicles. So those will be the next two to go in. So I'm going to put equipment first. So equipment 5670. All assets will have debit balances over there. So I'm going to put the 5670 I can still remember the figure, and put equipment. Then I said I was going to put vehicles next. Okay, so let's just go and check what the vehicles balance was. There we go. It's 19,200. So all the assets will behave in exactly the same way. So that's also going to be a debit. So it'll be 19,200. I'm going to go and pop all the folio numbers in afterwards so I don't have to worry about all these things at once. Okay, so our assets have debit balances. Are there any other assets? Those were the fixed assets, so we should be looking for current assets. Do we have, if we've forgotten what the current assets are, if I just go to my template here, you can see, let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we've dealt with the fixed assets, which are there. This is on page 96 in your workbook. Then you've got the current assets, trading stock, debtors, control, bank, cash flow, petty cash. Let's have a look. Trading stock, there isn't any. Debtors control, there is 2,300. Okay, so all the assets have debit balances, so they're going to go into the debit column. So it's going to be 2,300, and that was for debtors control. Okay, so then we're going to be looking for, if you're a little bit shaky on the order, at debtors control, then we want bank, cash float, and petty cash. You won't always have all of them in any particular exercise. So let's go and look for bank. You would expect to have that. So bank, 7590. It's going to be a debit because that's an asset. So just a word about that in a moment. 7590. Okay, so bank generally would be an asset if we have money in the bank. So that will be a debit. But if you ever have a bank overdraft, then you would put it in the credit column over there because that would be a liability. So if they don't tell you it's an overdraft, then you will have money in the bank. So it's going to be a debit. But if they ever say specifically it's a credit balance or it's an overdraft, you would just go and put it in the credit column. Okay, then I was looking for cash float and petty cash. I do have both of them. So cash float is 645. Okay, just want to go back and remind you over there. So you can see the order over there, cash float. Oh, sorry, I just lost it over there. Okay, so we had bank, cash float, petty cash. Okay, so cash float is 645, which I'm just going to cross out. These are all debits because they're all assets. So you've got quite a few assets there. And we did have petty cash, which will be the last of our current assets. So there's petty cash, 385. It's also going to be a debit. Yeah, I'm just like losing my headings over here. Always a good idea to go and put the amount in first so you kind of don't forget it or have to go back and check it. So it was 385. Okay. What's next? Now, those are all the current assets. So the next thing you would look for, accounts we haven't really dealt with at all. Fixed deposit, okay, and that would also have a debit because it's going to be money that you have in the bank. Okay, is there a fixed deposit? Yeah, there is here. Fixed deposit with SS Bank 5,000. Just said that would be a debit. So fixed deposit. You would always specify the name of the bank because you can have a bunch of different fixed deposits. You could have fixed deposits at different banks, money that you invested at different times. I mean, that's quite possible to have. Okay, so it was fixed deposit. What comes next? Okay, so we've got these two liabilities over there just from our template on page 96. You would have creditors control, then any loans that you have. So let's just go and check if we have any of those. I see creditors control there. And I see a loan from Nedbank. So creditors control first. And creditors control means you owe money to your creditors, people that you will have to pay back. That's a liability. Liability here would have a credit balance. I've forgotten the amount. Creditors control over there was 3,800, and it will be a credit. Okay, so it's going to be creditors control. And then we also had a loan, and that was the loan from Nedbank, if I remember correctly. The last one in our balance sheet section. Let's just go back up here. Yeah, loan, Nedbank, 8,500. Cross that one out as well. So we're going to go and put that in. It's also a liability because we owe that money to the bank. It's going to be 8,000 over there. Okay, so that's the balance sheet section done. So we start with our owner's equity accounts. You've got capital, and then you've got drawings. Then you've got the fixed assets over here, just equipment and vehicles, although you could have land and buildings as the first if you have all three. Then we've got current assets. Then we've got a fixed deposit. And all those debits over there, those are all assets. And then you've got two liabilities. And then we should just go and put all those folio numbers in. As I said earlier, I normally just go and pop them in afterwards. Just don't forget to do it though. Okay, that's it. And now we need to do the nominal section. So I'm losing my headings there, but the two money columns are obviously debit and credit. So it's going to be nominal section. Now I do actually want the bold and the underlining just for my headings. Okay, so let us go back and we see what we've got here. So we'd start with incomes. And normally you'd look for current income and rent income. So there's current income of 13,250. And we've seen from the general ledger, usually that's the first account in our nominal section. So current income, 13,250. Incomes would have a credit balance or credit total over there. So incomes would be in the credit. So it's 13,250. And that is, as I said, current income. And then we did have some rent income. So those will be your first nominal ones, N1, N2, etc. Let's just go and check what the rent income amount was. There it is. It's up there, 12,500. So I'm just going to go and cross that out. So all the incomes are going to have credit totals over there. What was it? 12,500. Okay. Now we should just have a number of expenses left. Let's go and check. So if I go and look over here, what's not crossed out? Water and electricity, advertising, material costs, those three. Those are expenses. Everything else on the left-hand side there is crossed out. Wages is an expense, so salaries. Okay, so a bunch of expenses. I'm just going to go and put them in one by one. Water and electricity, 350. And our expenses will all go into the debit column there. So it was water and electricity, 350. I'm going to be hovering up and down now. Let's go and put the 350 in the debit over there. That's like a bit of a pain. I'll do them a bit quicker in the following exercises. Advertising for 4,300 and material cost for 7,000. Do those two at once. Oops. That's 4,300. Then the material cost was 7,000. They're all going to be debits because they're all expenses. Probably I should be crossing these out as I've done them just to check I've got nothing left afterwards. Like if you start with a system, stick to it. Okay, so that's it. Everything on the left-hand side there, all crossed out, and I've got 2 on the right. I'm not calling these debit and credit. These are definitely left and right-hand columns. Wages 9320 and salaries 18,300. So the wages 9320. Go and pop that in first. Also an expense, so it's debit. Then I also had one for salaries. Salaries 18,300, yeah. So that's the very last one. It's also going to be a debit. Okay, so what was it? 18,300. So I'm going to go and pop my folio numbers in 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a tad smaller so we can see the big picture. Okay, still can't quite see it. Okay, so it's actually smaller than we wanted. So you've got your trial balance at the heading and you've got your debit and credit columns over there, the whole lot of figures in. So what we need to do now is just go and add them up, and we need to go and put the totals in. So over here at the end of everything I've got, I'm going to go and pop totals in. So let's just get some nice thicker lines going on there. Okay, so let's go boom. Okay, so you can see where I've got my thicker lines at the bottom. I'm going to go and put the totals in. I need a calculator. I don't actually have one with me, so I'm just going to get my built-in calculator over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my debit one, 6490, and I'm going to add to that 5670, and I'm going to add to that 19200. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm just going down over there. So I've got up to the 19,200, going back to my calculator. To that, I'm going to add 2,300. To that, I'm going to add 7590. I think it can't be a bigger pain than watching somebody make a video on using a calculator. But I'm just going to do it quickly. Future videos, I think I will just do it kind of on the side. And then, okay, so I've got my expenses over here, the 350, 4,300, etc. So I just need to add those in. 4,300. And I've got the 7,000. Obviously, you just need to be quite careful what you're pressing, that you don't press the wrong key, because then everything can go a little pear-shaped. 18,300. I've got 86,550. So I go and put that in over here as my total of the debit column, 86,550. Now, if all's gone well, I should have exactly the same total in the credit column. So you can see over here, I've got my 86,550 highlighted over there. And then if I go and try my credit column, I just need to clear everything over there. So I'm going to add, if I look at the credit, it's those are the totals I'm adding over there. So I'm going to go from the top, 48,500. Then I'm going to add 3,800 plus 8,500 plus 1,3,250 plus 1,2,500. So those are the figures in the credit column. And you can see my total I get there, 86,550. It's exactly what I wanted. So 86,550. 550. So that means this trial balance does indeed balance. Okay, so that's the whole idea, to get all of your accounts listed over there in the correct sections, balance sheet section and nominal section, and you need the balance or total on the debit in the debit column or the credit column, depending on where the balance would be in the general ledger, debit or credit. It's useful to use the summary over here. The drawings, assets, and expenses will be in the debit column, capital, liabilities, and incomes in the credit. And once you've done all of that, if you've got everything in the correct place, if you total them up, then you should get exactly the same total. Okay, so once you've done a few of these, they really aren't too bad, but that's where this video is going to